Good morning, children. This is Emily Ramzan Beg. Today I am going to teach 10th class English, Unit 3, C reading, that is The Brave Potter. In the previous class, already we have come to know that Brave Potter first half of this story. And in the previous lesson, in the story, you came to learn that the Brave Potter, he did not notice the difference between the donkey and the tiger. That means one night he went in searching of that his donkey, but he did not notice because he was in a drunken mode. So that drunken Potter, he did not notice the tiger. He thought it was his donkey. So he took that donkey to his hut, and in front of his hut under the tree, he bound it there. This is the story you came to learn. On that next day morning, that villagers, they found how they were surprised by seeing the tiger in front of that potterman. He's in front of his house, potter's house, not washerman, potter. And here you see that the remaining story. Let me come to that. You come to page number 68. Page number 68, you come to that. Remaining story, let us see that. A few years later, war broke out between the potter's country and a much stronger neighbor. Do you understand this? The king immediately gathered a large army, but he realized that it was not strong enough to save his country from defeat. He needed a hero to lead his army. Where could he find such a brave man? The king hurriedly called his ministers together and asked them advice. I think that you understood that. So few years later, unfortunately, there was a war broke out between this country, Potter's country, and a neighboring country. So one of the ministers remembered the story of the brave Potter. Your Majesty, the minister said, I know someone who can lead our army. One minister said like this here. The king immediately sent a messenger to the potter's house. When the potter realized that he had been made general of the army, he became frightened. He completely in scared mode. He was in fear. Why do you think he was in fear? Because he was made the general of the army. The king had ordered him to go to the palace the next day. The king ordered him. How could he, a poor, ignorant potter, become the general of the army? And he had never carried a sword, nor had he ever ridden a horse also. Both of these he did not do. So then how he becomes a general of the army? Once you think then, wow, I shall die because of that stupid donkey. Groaned the potter to his wife. He has only brought us trouble. Who has brought here? Donkey brought him trouble. There is some flashback. You have to go back. How a donkey brought him in trouble. The next day he went with his wife to the capital. The king was pleased, he was happy to see him, and ordered the potter to lead the army into battle the next day. The enemy were not far from the gates of the city. A splendid house had been prepared for the potter and his wife. The horse which would carry him into battle was ready in the stable. In the stable means that is the shed of the cattle, or the horse's shed, it was shelter. So he was ordered to go to the palace. Then the night the potter could not sleep. He was nervous and worried because he did not know how to ride a horse. He became nervous. Then, if I fall, everybody will laugh at me, he thought. I will get up very early tomorrow and practice riding the horse. So he thought like this here. He didn't know how to ride. That is why he wanted to get up early morning and he wanted to practice riding. He thought. At dawn, the potter woke up his wife and they went to the stable. They saw the beautiful brown horse ready for its new master. There was a beautiful brown horse. Then he thought, wow, how tall he is. Sighed the potter, I shall never be able to climb onto his back. He thought. Then put his bench beside him. Put this bench beside him, said his wife, and use it as a step. She advised him how to climb that back of that horse. Even with the help of the bench, the potter had much difficulty climbing onto the horse's back. Then, when he was finally seated, he found that the saddle was very slippery. And please tie my feet to the stirrups, dear wife, said the potter, otherwise I shall certainly fall off. So he said to his wife like this here. I give the meanings here. Saddle means a leather seat which is arranged on the back of that horse. It is a leather seat. It will be comfortable to a rider. Then stirrup means metal rings will be there, two sides of the horse. What do you call that? Two sides of the saddle. Metal rings will be arranged to put the feet into the rings, and it is easy to control the horse. This is he asked his wife like this here. Then his wife found some rope and bound her husband's feet tightly to the stirrups. Then she passed the rope underneath the horse and tied the two stirrups together. She also passed a length of rope around the potter's waist and tied him to the saddle. So the waist was tied with a rope, and another end of that rope it was tied to the saddle of that horse. His wife planned like this here. Due to this, it is not possible to fall down when horse it gallops. Then, now please tie my hands to his neck. His neck means horse's neck, said the potter. Meanwhile, the big brown horse was impatiently pawing his hoofs on the ground. Hoofs means here hoof is a singular form and hoofs are plural form here. Hoofs, H-O-O-P. Yes, hoofs means the hard parts of the feet of some animal here. Okay. Then when the potter's wife tried to pass another rope around the neck, I am coming to this here, and the horse suddenly jumped free. It galloped out of the stable with the potter's hanging like a sack of rice on its back. Only the ropes kept him from crashing to the ground. The potter held tightly to the horse's neck and prayed to all the gods to save his life. After galloping means a type of jumping, galloping with feet. Horses generally they gallop. With the galloping through the quiet streets, the horse crashed through the city gates and raced across the open fields. It leapt over fences and streams and began to head for the enemy's camp. When the potter realized where they were going, he tried harder than ever to stop the horse. He pulled wildly on the reins, but it was no use. The horse galloped on. It was jumping and jumping. It was going on. Even he tried to stop the horse. Next, when they passed a young tree, the potter grabbed a branch, but the horse did not stop. Potter he tried to catch it, hold it there, but horse did not stop it there. Instead, the tree was pulled out of the ground. A sentry from the enemy camp saw the potter galloping towards the camp with a tree in one hand and his reins in the other. That must be the general who captured a tiger with his bare hands. With his bare hands means empty hands. Bare hands means, he thought. Sentry means God who does who takes the prevention, who takes the security of the other people. He was the god of the camp, enemy's camp. He thought like this here, oh, this is the brave soldier, and this was a great general who captured that who captured the tiger. He thought like this here. Now he has uprooted a tree with only one hand. He is not an ordinary man. He is a giant. Run, run, save yourselves. The famous tiger general is coming at the head of a large army to attack us. He has the strength of a giant. He was uprooted a tree with one hand. That sentry, that god of that camp, enemy's camp, he shouted like this here, that general is coming there, the brave general is coming, and we have to save our lives. He shouted and he ran away. The frightened soldiers fled. Flee past form is fled. F-L-E-E, fled. The king was left by himself in his tent. Hurriedly, he wrote a letter begging for peace and apologizing for attacking the country. He left this letter in the tent. Then he jumped on his horse and followed his soldiers. When the potter's brown horse reached the deserted camp, it stopped. With shaking hands, the potter untied his feet and fell to the ground. When he looked around, he was surprised to find the camp empty. He looked in the king's tent and found the letter. The puzzled potter walked back to the city with the letter in his pocket. He went to his wife and gave her the letter. And that was the situation. Alex unfortunately became the great hero, and he took that. He went into the enemy's camp. There he found nobody is there. It was a deserted camp, enemy's camp. King left a letter, and he found that letter. Potter found that letter. He took that letter and went to his house and he handed it over to his wife. Next, you see that, dear wife, he said, never in my life will I ride a horse again. Please take this letter to our king and tell him that the enemy has run away. I am going to bed. His wife ran towards the palace with the letter. When the king read the letter, he was full of praise for his new general. So this was the luck of Potter. Then he asked the potter's wife where her husband was. Then, my husband is tired, your majesty. The servants have put him to bed, answered the wife respectfully. So when king asked like this, that wife answered this way, let him rest today, tell him to come tomorrow to receive his reward, the king said. Next morning, the potter went to the king's palace. He left the brown horse in the stable and walked to the palace with his wife. And then the streets were filled with cheering crowds. They had all heard about his brave action. These were the people in the streets. They were shouting by seeing the great potter and brave potter. And they are cheering. The people were in cheering crowds. They are telling like this here, look how humble he is. They said to each other, the people those are in the streets. Any other man would ride to the palace on a horse, but he is walking like an ordinary man. He is truly a humble and brave man. He is a very simple and brave man. All the people in the streets, they were telling each other. The king rewarded the potter so well that he did not need to work again. The country was peaceful for the rest of his life, and the potter never rode a horse again. This was the great situation, the fortunate that it is called. Fortunately, that potter became brave and he became the general of the army. All the circumstances made him a hero. Even he was timid, though he became a great hero. And for years of that life, in his lifetime, no enemy came, no enemy attacked. This is a wonderful story retold by Margaret Seek. Children, and you also read once again this story and find out the meanings those are given to you. And next, for the next lesson, let me come to in the next video.